What is his name? I asked the woman, carrying a little boy on her lap in the commercial bus. Why can't you ask him? She responded, and cleaned up the sweaty face of the boy with a handkerchief. She laughed at my inquisitiveness. Hello boy, I tickled him on his ear. He showed his whitish teeth as he smiled. My name Peterson. Junior. Won't you greet Uncle Peterson? She asked the boy, teasingly. Good afternoon, Mr. Peterson, he blabbed shyly. Good afternoon, how are you doing? I fondled his chubby cheek as he continued to stare at me. And what is your name? My name is Emmy. I am 6 years old. I attend Good Child Nursery and Primary. I am in Primary 1. He declared to me, as if he was reciting a nursery rhymes, until one of his shoes fell off his foot. He came down from his mother's lap to pick it. Good Emmy, you are very sharp. Madam, please take care of this brilliant boy. I will, sir. Thank you, the woman replied, and she wiped his face again, with handkerchief, before she carried Emmy back on her lap. I tried to take a nap in the bus. Rays of sunlight that came in through the window made the bus stuffy. I widened the window's outlet to allow more air before I began to reminisce, instead of sleeping. It was the state of the roads that crept into my mind. They were dilapidated. They made us drove endlessly to our destinations. Why did I come back to this country? My mind was asking question. It was then my subconsciousness processed my earlier encounter with Emmy, allowing in more ugly thoughts into my shattered heart. Daddy, when will you take us to see Opa Oramian? My son said with a British accent. It is Opa Oramian. I laughed and corrected him. Tomorrow, hopefully, I replied. Hooray, he screamed in jubilation, and Mom walked over the tired floor. Now get some sleep, because we have a long day ahead of us tomorrow. Thank you, Dad, you are the best dad in the world. He continued his celebration, by raising his 2 hands up, as if he had conquered the world. Good night, Dad, he said as he lay on the bed. Good night, don't forget to say your prayers. I closed the door of his room, beaming with smile, wondering how my little boy had grown, within the pace of 6 years. Then I moved to the next room, where his mother was lying. I stared at her with so much admiration, especially for the baby she was carrying in her stomach. I wished it would be a girl, since Kyle was craving for a sister. I kissed her on her forehead and left the room. I then drove out to buy fuel for the next day. I spent hours at the filling station because there was rumor of fuel hike soon. Most the filling stations were hoarding their fuel, while those who were selling at outrageous price. When I finally bought fuel, I sped back home to meet my family. Unfortunately, it was their remains I met. My family were burnt to ashes by fire. The fire spanned from a ministry activity. The ministry cleared the bush for a nearby housing project. They cleared the bush by setting fire on it. At the end of their clearing, they did not quench the fire completely. The unquenched fire escalated and raised my family to ashes. They were all right in UK. Why did I bring them here? My heart condemned me. I could not just comprehend the sad reality that stared me in the face. I mourned my family in tears for days. Now that I am all alone in the world, I wondered if my life would ever be the same. I lost every reason of being alive when my family left me. When I arrived finally at my bus stop, Akowonjo, I dropped from the bus. Slowly and steadily, I walked down to Ayobomi Street, not too far from the bus stop. I was about to enter the unpainted bungalow of number 4 Ayobomi Street, my humble abode, when a boy ran up to me with a letter. He stooped respectfully and handed me the letter. Thank you, Keod, I said in gratitude, raising the letter close to my eyes to see where it came from. A moment later, I was in my one-room apartment, rented for me by the church. That had been my haven over the last few months. I hope justice will be served now, I soliloquized. As I read the letter, which was a court summon, I drifted back to the past, once again. After my family demise, my anguish subsided, after a period of mourning. I sought for justice for their deaths. I reported at nearest police station, but they did nothing, since it was a ministry thing. The only thing I recovered from the fire was my British passport. It did not get burnt miraculously. I wrote the British High Commission about the incident, and I also copied the police. I was invited by the police. In my meeting with the police, I voiced my anger because the incident was left untreated. But I was treated with iron hand by the police. They locked me behind bars and threw away the keys. They also wrote the British High Commission, telling them that I was insane. That I would get in treatment in the psychiatric home, where I would be kept from hurting the public. I spent 3 months in jail. After then, I was set free without anything and no one to go to. I washed cars for days, at the car wash, to get something to eat. A customer at the car wash introduced me to a church, where the congregation assisted me. God is miracle worker. The pastor prayed for me. I received my liberty. First it was British High Commission that called, and asked me to come over to Abuja, to verify the stability of my mental health. The church provided my flight fare, to and fro. I was certified sane and of sound mind from their examination. The British High Commission took over my case with police. The aftermath of commission intervention in my case was the court summon. As I lie in bed this night, I am thinking of tomorrow. Thinking of my woes, the foes of yesterday and tomorrow. Wondering if justice will be served or tampered with, wallowing in unrealistic future. Tears in my eyes, because the wounds of the past are unhealed, and the battle of tomorrow is to be feared. Oh God, help me, let the light shine bright tomorrow, in my life.